You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the show. If you're into anime, nerd culture, and most importantly, video games, then you come to the right place because we talk about all of that here. Got a short show for you today. Not a lot to talk about, but we did have a PAX East 2023. Going to talk about a few bright spots there. What I'm playing, of course, which if you've been listening to this show, it's probably the easiest answer you would probably ever guess. Resident Evil 4, of course. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And my anime watch list, man, I've jumped back into the anime hype train. There's a lot of anime that caught my attention. And I'm currently going to talk about what I'm watching now or what I'm about to watch and what I need to clean up, because there's a lot of anime out here that I have been jeffing on and bullshitting and procrastinating, and it's just been on my backlog, and have time to get to it. So now I'm going to make some more time for my anime, and I'm going to start this week with that. Okay. Going to take a break from One Piece and kind of give some more attention to some of these shorter but sweeter animes and go from there. Okay. And that's what I'll be doing. I think I'll go ahead and start with that, since I've going to end the conversation with this anime talk. There's a few anime out here that I definitely need to get caught up on, man. I had a conversation with one of my boys the other day, and we were just talking about anime. Even my own son, I was talking to him about it, my oldest son, and he had his cousin over there, and my son he's never seen Kimetsu no Yaiba. He has never seen Demon Slayer, and he said he's been seeing clips and people talking about it, and his own cousin was telling him that he needs to watch it. It's definitely one of those anime that I would tell anyone who was a fan of anime, period, should definitely put this on their bucket list. This is an anime that definitely needs to be seen. It's up there with some of the best ones, in my opinion. Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero. There's just a lot of them. There's so many dope anime out here that I think a lot of people, if you are calling yourself anime fans, you need to take a list, a pen and paper, and write down a certain number of these animes and definitely make time to get to watch those. Those are just a couple that I've named, but there are so many. High Score Girl, there's Baki, there's all kind of different ranges. Chivalry Knight, High School DxD. There's a lot of just different genres. There's a lot of different dope ones. I can keep naming them all forever. Future Diaries. There's so many. Fairy Gone. There's a lot of them. There's dozens and dozens of dozens, man. But yeah, definitely Demon Slayer is one that is got to be on that bucket list. You definitely got to put that one on. Naruto, of course. Everybody's telling me One Piece, and now I see the appeal of One Piece. That's another one. Definitely make time for that. But the list can go on and on and on. And I found a couple more to add to the list, and I'll be talking about that one. These two, actually. The first one goes by the name of Ergo Proxy. I just literally started that one last night. Only saw 2 episodes of it, but it's pretty beefy. It's 2 seasons, but when you're dealing with anime, you can either deal with the animes that last 12 to 13 episodes per season, or every once in a while you'll get the ones that have 23, 24, sometimes up to 26 episodes per season. And right now, season 1 looks to be about 24 episodes. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to diving in there. It's got a sci-fi, kind of dark sci-fi vibe to it. That's the only thing I can come up with to describe what I've seen thus far. But it's definitely interesting, and I am definitely intrigued by it. So that one is there for me. Also, the next one on the list is one I haven't started watching yet, but I did go ahead and save it. And this one is goes by the name of Hitori no Shida. Okay, this is one that a lot of people are familiar with. I just hadn't had a chance to get to it, but it looks very interesting. I don't know the premise on it exactly. All I know is there's an old man who is trying to hide his origin, and apparently that origin has some very powerful backdrops associated with it. So that's really all I know. I seen a clip. Somebody sent me a clip, and the fighting scene looked pretty dope, and it got my attention. So now I want to know who these characters are. I want to know how it got to that scene and all of that. So that's the cool thing. Somebody sends me something, or I just happen to stumble upon something myself, and it looks interesting. Half the fun is finding out what anime it is, and once you find it out, making sure you can get a hold of it and watch it. 90% of the time you can make that a reality, but with anime now, they're spread out so many places. Sometimes it's just almost impossible unless you have every fucking app and under the sun. But once you find out that, and you are able to locate the anime, then the most fun part to me is just starting it and figuring out the understanding of how the scene I just saw got to that point in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. It seems to never, you're always surprised. I'll put it like that. In anime, you never know where these writers go with a lot of stuff, man. I mean, and they take it in such amazing different paths and amazing different ways. It's crazy. So it's just fun for me. So that's what I'm doing now. Those are my 2 anime that I need to catch up on. Is definitely My Hero Academia. That's probably the number 1 on my list. That I've been being told, oh, look, you need to get back on it. It's heating up. It's all kinds of shit happening, going down. I said, cool. Same thing everybody's saying about Boruto as well. Okay. I think now everybody's talking about the time skip now is finally here. It's upon us in the manga, and everybody's talking about it, and everybody wants to know the fate of all the characters. And the creator of the series was dropping like these ghost quotes talking about, don't rule out the death of some of the OG characters, before this is all said and done. So people are just losing their shit right now. And so I'm like, yo, let me get caught up in Boruto. I know I got to go through a lot of fucking fodder, a lot of slice of life stuff, because there were a lot of slow parts leading up to where it's at now. But that's fine. I mean, sometimes you got to do that to get to where you need to get to, and I'm all for that. So those are the 2 I really want to get caught back up on. I'm currently watching like episode by episode. There's Vinland Saga, so that's there, and there's a couple other ones that I'm watching like on a weekly basis. I don't really count those because I'm caught up with those, but the other ones, we definitely need to catch up. And I'm really talking about myself, but yeah, that's where I'm at on the anime watch list, guys. Hope that whet your appetite a little bit. If you've seen these, more power to you. If you haven't, then definitely put this on your list, or at least give it a shout. Go give it a chance, and you may end up really, really liking them too. So these are shonen animes for the most part, from what I've seen. I don't know any more about it, but yeah, that's where we're at though. So that's my anime watch list. Let's move on down the line, and let's talk a little bit about this PAX East event that took place. It happens every year. I think it was in Boston. This past event took place in, and PAX East to me is basically an indie showcase. For the most part, it's an indie showcase. What they end up doing is giving us a lot of exposure to the indie developers. And every once in a while, we'll get some updates on current AAA games, where they're at. We may get a new trailer or two here or there. And that's pretty much what PAX is. It's a lot of people love PAX because of the fanfare they give to the indie games. And I love indie games myself. You get a lot of AA games and a lot of single A indie studios there, and they come up with a lot of dope shit. That's what took place there. There wasn't a lot like super news, like, if people were wondering about Nintendo or what Sony might have done. We did get a couple new trailers. Like I said, one of the trailers we got was a Final Fantasy 16 trailer, which was basically giving us a idea of what the world is going to look like. So a lot of people had their doubts on this game as far as the aesthetics and how or where it took place. And they all assumed that, it's just going to be this super dark, which I love, game, and there's not going to be a lot of color to the game. And they showed us that that was completely false. They basically gave us a 1.5-minute clip of just all the areas and traversals, places where you'll be, exploring and walking around and all this. And it was definitely layered. Okay. It had many layers. There were different areas. Some were bright and colorful. Others were not. Others were epic looking. What Final Fantasy has always been good at, to me, is giving you a sense of traversal, man, giving you a sense of showing people that, the journey is long. Okay. So I was never worried about that, but a lot of people say after they saw that, they calmed down a lot. It calmed them down and it made them realize that, okay, cool, this still is a Final Fantasy game. Yes, the mechanics have changed. A lot of people are a little salty. Well, I won't even say a lot, but there are people out there who are not happy necessarily with the new direction that Final Fantasy is going with the combat and how it takes place. I don't know how they're going to implement turn-based, if they ever are going to do that. Maybe like how they're doing with the remake of Final Fantasy VII. I'm wondering if that's going to be in there with it. Only time will tell. I know you're only controlling the main character and your other characters kind of like do their own thing. I'm fine with that completely. And like I said, I'm always down for new shit and evolving a game or series if need be. And for me personally, it's a perfect transition for me personally for a Final Fantasy game. Okay. I love action RPGs over turn-based RPGs, if I'm just being honest. That's just the one I usually go for. Do I love my turn-based games? Yes, and there's a lot of my favorites that are turn-based, but if I had to choose one off rip, it would definitely be action RPGs off top. And I love the direction they're going with this. One of the same guys who've done Devil May Cry for the combat. It looks breathtaking. I mean, if you watch the video, there's an extensive preview of this game, 45 minutes tech demo, basically, where you can take a look at the gameplay and what these guys have in store to give you an idea of what you'll be doing. And they even said it. Hey, a lot of these abilities that we'll be showcasing here are abilities you won't get until later in the game, but the build we made for the public to see is kind of like the fun you can have and kind of the different choices that you'll be able to make when playing this game in this style. And I love every second of it. So if you haven't watched that 45-minute video, take it upon yourself to go watch it. If you have any doubts about Final Fantasy 16, just check out that, and I promise you will not be disappointed. It's epic as hell, and I'm here for it, and I cannot fucking wait for this game. So that's what we got for Final Fantasy 16. We also got other trailers from other games, and one of the games that I really am starting to gush over right now is a game from Deck 13. If you're not familiar with Deck 13, I'll bring it up. They're responsible for making the Surge 1 and Surge 2 games. They also done, I think, Lords of the Fallen, the first one, which I think came out in 2016. But yes, I love the Surge series, especially Surge 2. Surge 2 is probably my second favorite Dark Souls-esque game with Wulong alongside, because Wulong is an awesome game as well. I like both of them for different reasons. But yes, I really loved Surge 2. If you are familiar with Surge or their games, any of the Surge games, they're not even a AAA studio. They're a AA studio, but they do things really well, man. They really do. And this next game, which goes by the name of Atlas Fallen. I've mentioned this before to you guys, but this shit looks very promising. And everybody who's touched the game, all the reviewers and the YouTubers that I've seen, some of them who are really, really opinionated and really are hard to please if they had a if they had a R&B group, call them Hard to Please, because some of these guys, man, they are very hard, man, to convince that a game is this or that. And for them to be saying that the game looks promising from what they've got a chance to see, the traversal, everything from this game, it's a good sign. It's basically a world of sand. Okay, it's sand all around you, but the way you traverse is kind of like you're kind of like on I want to say some sort of board, but you're really not. It looks like you are, but you're not. You're just skating around, sliding around on the sand, and it's very quick, very fast speeds. You don't need a vehicle. It's just ease of use is just what comes to mind when I'm watching it. And just the gameplay loops and how you take down these enemies and things like that. It looks awesome, man. It's a truly new IP. It's an open world action RPG. And it's not Dark Souls-esque. They want to make that clear. They wanted to go a slightly different direction on that. So in other words, it's not going to be, super intensely hard. Okay, I'm sure it'll have its challenges like most games, but it won't be, a Dark Souls type. So this is something different from them, and I really fuck with Deck 13, man. I was looking forward to their next project. I remember talking about this months and months ago, and being excited about it, but just not knowing what it was about. And now it's finally upon us. I still don't know the release date. I need to double check on that, but it should be coming out soon. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's coming out in the next couple of months, if I'm not mistaken. So this may be one that I might have to readdress and definitely go to and pick up after I've finished the main ones. I got to find out the exact release date it falls on, and then I can kind of work my way around that, because now what I'm trying to do, guys, now is start to do some playthroughs on some of these games now. Now that I got the majority of my stuff on the PlayStation 5 where I want it to be, for my editing and stuff on that console, it's cool. Matter of fact, I just uploaded 2 videos. They're not live yet, but I just uploaded 2 videos that I fucking edited and played through on Resident Evil 4. And let me go ahead and just segue into that. Resident Evil 4, I've been playing that and I'm enjoying myself immensely. It's my all-time favorite Resident Evil game for new listeners who don't know. The only other one that comes close to that is Resident Evil 2. And because I'm a huge Leon Kennedy fan, that's my favorite character in the Resident Evil universe. And I just love those games. Okay. Next in line, I think if I had to choose one, it'd probably be Code Veronica. And I hope we get a Code Veronica remake. We may not, but if they're doing all these remakes, I'm almost ready to say I'm going to put all my money on them making Code Veronica. I think so. I think it's going to be awesome when they do it. And I'm going to buy that one too. So it's all good. But anyway, until then, I'll be waiting and I'll be playing Resident Evil 4. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be doing a playthrough for Resident Evil 4. Be looking out for that, guys, in April, like April 1st. So be looking out for the first video then. I'm going to beat the game, play the game, of course, and then I'm going to record the gameplay, and you'll be able to hear me talk shit. You'll be able to hear me mumble through the playthroughs, and you'll even hear my son in some of the videos trying to help out or whatever. So it's just kind of like a thing I decided 2023 I wanted to go start doing. Each year I try to one up myself and try something new and just try to do something better, especially for you guys or whatever. So Random Gameplay Pimpin', the YouTube channel, just be looking out for that. Resident Evil 4 stuff, I'll let you guys know when the first video is live. Like I said, probably April, definitely probably April 1st. And then after that, every day after that, you'll be able to get a part 1, part 2, part 3 down the line. I don't know how many parts it's going to take me to beat it, but yeah. So be looking out for that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that for, I want to do that for Mafia the Remake as well. I'll be doing that eventually. Another one I'm going to try to do Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. But that's a little different because the streaming on that is a little different. I don't know if I have everything I need to do that. And I've never done that with Nintendo. Nintendo makes it a little harder because it's just not as easy. That one may happen. It may not, but I'll put that one on maybe. Okay. But I'll definitely be doing Star Wars, the new Star Wars game coming out. I think it's called, what is it called? Damn, I get the damn name again. I forgot the name, but the new one coming out, it drops at the end of April. Be looking out for that one. So that's about a month away. I'll be doing that game as well. Also, you guys know I'm going to be tons and tons of doing stuff on Street Fighter. on another channel of mine called Just Yo Average Fighter. So I'll keep you posted on that. I'll be doing a shit ton of content there with the Street Fighter stuff. And the next game is Final Fantasy 16 later on that month. And I'll definitely be doing a playthrough of that. Okay, so I'm going to start knocking out some more playthroughs throughout the year and just, going through my backlog and when I got time and say, you know what, this would be a good game right here to go ahead and do and play. Because, why not? I'm playing them anyway. So why not monetize it? Why not, put it out there and share it with the people, man? I'm just trying to get more innovative. And I think everybody listening should do the same as well. If you're doing something that you love, you might as well just try to find a way to monetize that shit, man. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're somebody who wants to be your own boss and you kind of want to live in that realm, it's always tough from the start, but eventually you get to a point where it starts to pay off. And I'm a true believer in that. I'm a true believer in residual income. I'm a true believer in doing things, putting it out there and letting it work for you over time. It's just a smart thing to do. It's an investment in yourself and an investment in what you love. So I said I'll go ahead and start doing that. Plus, it's a you scratch my back, I scratch yours. The fans get to go watch more content of me if they don't feel like listening to the podcast, or if they're waiting, for the next week's podcast. They want to say, oh, what else has he got on this channel? What's going down with him? And they can go there. So I'm also working on a Discord as well. So I'm going to try to get that popping so that sometimes, hey, maybe you guys want to come and join the Discord and have some conversations, and we can discuss games and we can discuss anime or whatever, any of those things that I talk about here, we can get into that. We could even talk about financial literacy. One of my other favorite things to discuss and just study. I think everybody should study that for themselves to try to put themselves in a better position, for the long haul, because all I'm trying to do, it's really simple, is put myself in a position to where I can do everything that I've always wanted to do and not worry about money. That's really it. It's a very simple plan. And if you stick to the things that you write down and you know what to do to accomplish this, man, it'll be cake. You'll be doing it in your sleep. And a lot of these things that you end up doing for yourself, if you do it one time, you don't have to do it one time, and then it's forever out there, and you forever planted that seed that's forever going to grow. Okay. Me personally, I prefer, I love t-shirts. A lot of people are sneakerheads. I'm like a t-shirt guy. I love different t-shirts, different kinds of designs, different kinds of everything, a lot of anime shit, a lot of, nerd culture type stuff, superheroes and just nerdy shit. A lot of the time gaming and gaming motivated things as well, with just shit that only otakus and nerds would understand and would get. So I want to tackle those subjects, so everything I design and create and do, it just revolves around that type of stuff. So I enjoy doing it. Therefore, it doesn't feel or seem like work to me. That's why I encourage anybody to do take that same recipe and apply it to whatever it is that you love or you like, and try to make something residual for yourself down the line. There's been plenty of things that I've made, created, design wise or whatever. And I've done it years ago, and I'm still eating off of that. I did it one time, uploaded it, boom. And it's still constantly, doing things. So, and it's a numbers game. You do more, of course, the probability of you making more and more often is multiplied. That's just how it works. So that's what I'm doing. And because I want to just live in my basement for the majority of the time and do the things I love doing. Do my podcast, of course, do my gameplay stuff, build communities for other people who feel or are into the same things as me, and, build new relationships, that type of thing, and then spend time with my kids and have all the time that I need to do all those things and be able to spend time with my family. Just keep it nice and simple. Let me get off that side tangent and let's get back into some news. Let's go with Redfall. Redfall has a little news. Yes, if you guys didn't know, a lot of people are salty. I'm one of those guys, and I feel this way about all games. How companies are making these titles now, and a lot of them now are being made purposely to keep the consumer online at all times. Case in point, Redfall is a free game on Game Pass. I'm looking forward to playing it, trying it out. It looks pretty interesting. It's a it's a first person shooter. But you're battling these vampires. The world is semi-open world. It just looks interesting. Definitely enough for me to try it. It's it's not going to cost me anything. And a lot of people are going to pay for this. They're looking forward to this game. But the problem with this title is that you have to be online at all times to play it. Okay. And a lot of people frown down upon that, including myself, because there is a single player mode. You can play this single player, but you still have to be connected online. Kind of the same thing that's going on or has been going on with another game that I was looking forward to playing, which was Diablo. Okay, Diablo 4, and it turned me off from Diablo 4. And that's why I'm not going to be buying Diablo 4, because you have to be connected at all times to be playing, because Diablo 4 is also a single player game. I know people still playing Diablo 1 and 2 and are streaming them and doing all these other things, but you're not going to be able to do the same things with Diablo 4 in the future as you're doing with the other Diablo games, because like I said before, you have to be connected. So if the servers go down, or if they feel like the game isn't worth keeping the servers alive anymore, guess what? All those Diablo 4 fans, they get that butter pulled out on them. They get their garments removed, and they get the lights turned out, and strange things are going to happen to their person. And I'm just keeping it real. So I didn't want to do that. It's also coming out in June, which are two huge bangers for me myself are coming out. So I just frowned down upon that, man. Also, I tried to download the open beta, and I did download the open beta this past weekend. Tried to play it and couldn't fucking get in the servers. Okay. I had a 20-minute wait the first time. Then it failed. I went in and did it again. I had a 17-minute wait, and then it fucking failed again. I don't understand. Maybe I just had bad luck with it. But if I got to deal with that, getting in a queue like these other online games, like the Final Fantasy 14s and stuff like that, these are the reasons why I don't play those games. Because when they're really popping and all of that, you have to sit there and wait. Your time, your game playing time is not guaranteed. So you mean to tell me you want me to give you $75 just so I can take and I have an opportunity to maybe get to play when I want to? Especially when you got a new game and it comes out. When the game is fresh and it's new, good luck trying to get in there. Good luck on that queue list, waiting list. You're going to be sitting there and you're going to be fucking marinating. And there's a lot of Diablo fans. So you want to fight and you want to scratch and crawl just to get a game in that you fucking paid for. Those are the type of things I run away from. Okay. And I suggest a lot of you guys do that same shit. Okay. It may hurt for some of us because there's some games that, yes, we want to fucking play. And if you're willing to deal with that and you know it's online and you know all this stuff, this is what comes with it, hey, that's your prerogative. You can do that too. But I'm just not that guy, because to me, it gives them personally a opening to try to do this shit more often. And I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm really happy that this Redfall issue is being brought up, because apparently now they are going to be fixing that. Right now, as I'm speaking into this microphone, they are currently trying to figure out a way to take that part off of the game. In other words, make it playable offline as well. So that is a good thing. It shows me they're listening to the fans, and they want people to play their fucking games. That's what it shows me. And that's what developers should be doing. And I don't even put it on the developers more so. I put it on the publishers, or the people who are the higher ups who are making these decisions. Okay. The ones who are trying to squeeze every last piece of fucking dollars out of your fucking pockets. I'm talking about those people, the people who really don't even know anything about video games, but they're still making those type of decisions. Okay. Because they went to Yale or Harvard or whatever the fuck they went, and automatically they get to make decisions on gamers, which they don't even fucking play. So a lot of these companies have that issue, and it's just the way it is. The people who they hire for those positions aren't passionate about gaming or the IP that they're in charge of. Therefore, all they see is money. And if you're trying to make decisions based on that and that alone, it's a recipe for disaster for most cases. I'm just telling you right now. I've seen it unfold in so many games. It makes no fucking sense. But sometimes you have to learn the hard way. And apparently Redfall is not trying to do that. So I'm proud to announce that they're working on that. And hopefully we get that fixed. We get that understood, and everybody can play offline as well. And I think hopefully other companies will follow suit with this, because you can't fucking pigeonhole somebody into buying a game if they have a single player mode on there and make them be online to play it. It makes no fucking sense, man, to me. It just doesn't. And the replay value is shot to shit as well. I'm just keeping it real. So that is something that I'm proud to announce. So be looking out for that, and I'll definitely keep you posted if I hear anything else on that end. Moving on to PAX East in general, what they had, what was going on with them. There were a few bright spots. Nintendo had, a few games that they showed that I was interested in. One of the games is War Grooves Part 2. War Grooves Part 1 is a turn-based RPG, promising RPG indie game. This one here, it's a part 2, so evidently the first one did pretty well. That one looks good. They showed a little bit of that. Also, The Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Okay, that comes out June 27th. That is I forgot what umbrella that game actually falls up under, but it had a different name that we called it in the West. And it was only called that in the West, but everywhere else they just started calling it that. But it's a sim. It's one of the sim games, farming sim, multitasking type of games. But I think it was originally came out for the GameCube, I want to say. And now they're doing a HD version of it. So yeah, a lot of fans will probably be digging that. But that comes out right around the corner, not too far, June 27th. So be looking out for that one. Next game that caught my attention was a game that goes by the name of Mina the Hollower. Now, this has no release date. It says TBA, which is to be announced. This is from Yacht Club Games, though. If you aren't familiar with Yacht Club Games, they are the same company who came out with the illustrious, the almighty Shovel Knight, okay, who started that phenomenon. So these are the same guys who've done Shovel Knight. You know it's going to be a banger if this company's working on it. So yeah, this is one I'm looking for. It looks like you're some sort of like mouse. That's a character you look like. But yeah, think of it just like Shovel Knight, but you're a mouse, and the mechanics are different, and there's some differences. But yeah, in a pixelated genre out there, Yacht Club Games definitely they're heavy hitters. So be looking out for that one. Another game I want to talk about a little bit is called My Time at Sandrock, and this was just says 2023 release. There's no concrete release date. So they're giving themselves a lot of cushion, depending on these companies. Sometimes these indie companies, they get in over their head and ends up floating over to 2024. But for them to say 2023 and we're in the first quarter of 2023 and we don't have a date, it's telling me that it's probably going to be tail end 2023 most likely, before they feel comfortable enough with, putting it all out and all that. So that's cool as well. But yeah, that game there is a building sim of a game. You build whole cities, you build plants, you build these plants which are production plants, and of course the more production you have in your plants going on, the more things you can build simultaneously, and your city can grow faster and all of that. So that looks like something I would definitely fucking play, and it looks like it's a pretty good game. So looking forward to that one. And the last one on this list for Nintendo that caught my eye. Keep in mind, there are other games that were shown. These are just the ones that I personally kind of gravitated towards. This one is called Melon Journey, Bittersweet Memories. Now, this is another pixelated game. It's coming out really, really soon, April 6th to be exact. This is it's a story-driven exploration game, okay? At a first glance, it just looks very Game Boy-esque. But this game ends up being a lot deeper than what you initially thought it was, and a lot darker. If you play it long enough, you can kind of get the aesthetic that it's got two sides on this coin, okay? And I kind of like that. I don't know. I just really dug the art style, the simplicity of the art style, but also the layered games, the way that it kind of snowed. You snowed thinking it was one thing, but then when you peel back the layers, you're wondering, when am I going to get to the last layer? And you're still peeling. And those are the type of games that are just, you're giving a certain cap on your production and what you can do with this software, and you accomplish everything you meant out to do in some of these other more expensively made, fleshed out games. And if somebody can do that with those limitations, that tells you a lot about the production company and the talent the team has, and all those things in a nutshell. So looking forward to that one as well. And that one's coming out in April. So be looking out for that. Okay. Next, Let's talk about a game that is very unique to, it was to me when I first saw it. And I know it probably is to a lot of you guys. If you're not into Japanese culture and just the wacky, some of the shit that they come up with, man, is just, it's crazy. It's just something you would never think of, but at the same time, very fucking brilliant. And this is a franchise that I've known about for a while, and I've always wanted to play their games, but I just hadn't had a chance to yet. And I think this is going to be the time where I say, you know what, I'm going to make that happen. This game is coming out for PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. If it comes out for PlayStation 4, then I'll be playing it on the PlayStation 5. I would play it on the Switch, but I want to do content with this game. Whatever. The game is so quirky. I have to do content on this one. But yeah, it's called Akiba's Trip, Undead and Undressed Director's Cut. And it's a director's cut, so you're going to get all the, all the tidbits and stuff that don't necessarily want people to see, and the game is really crazy because it involves a character, a guy running around, and to beat your opponent, you basically have to knock all their garments off until they're damn near naked. Okay. And that's how you fucking defeat them. Like, I'm not lying, guys. This is how it works. And this is coming out. When does this come out? It just says summer 2023. So sometime in the summer, definitely going to be something I'll pick up. It's a remaster, a director's cut. So yeah, I'll probably get the Switch version as well, just because this is one of those games I just really like, man. But I definitely want to stream this, or not stream, but I definitely want to do some content on that game. So be looking out for that one for sure. Yeah. And that is pretty much all we got. Now we have a few more games that caught my attention. I'm going to run that down real quick and then we can get up out of here. Trinity Trigger is a action RPG and it's coming out for all systems, PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. Well, almost all systems. And this is coming out April 25th. I think Europe is getting a version of that May 16th. Yeah, they're getting their version in Europe. But yeah, it's an action RPG. It's Marvelous Games. It's one of my favorite publishers, one of my favorite companies. Another one, you got Xseed, you got Marvelous. Those are some excellent Japanese companies who do excellent games. And one of my favorite games on Nintendo Switch, they have done it, which is Daemon X Machina. And those guys are very talented over there. So looking forward to this game here. Yeah, April 25th, man. I want to say that some of these have demos. I got to double check and go, and I'm going to be checking out some of these demos as well. And I'll be, readdressing some of this stuff. But yeah, that game there. And then we have a game called Strayed Light. Okay. Now this one is interesting because it's a mixture of games. It kind of has a Sekiro mixed with Shadows of the Colossus, mixed with Journey, and maybe even a little bit of, Ikaruga mixed in there. Okay, that's a lot of genres. That's a lot of different games in there, but they had me at Shadows of the Colossus and Journey, okay, and Sekiro, because you have a parry button in this game. So yeah, I'm anxious to see what they're able to do with this game. But the graphics look good. The cool thing about indie developers now is the tech is getting so good, and they're able to create, even as an indie game, these robust looking and these crazy open over the top games. If they know the program and they learn the program, man, the sky's the limit even for these guys. And they have no fucking handcuffs. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't have to go run everything through 10 people, okay, to get the okay. They can kind of just do what they fucking want to do. And that's the beautiful thing, in my opinion, about indie developers. You don't have all those, the handcuffs. You don't have all those restraints on you. And making the game more free is sometimes a lot better than just having to go down and check on everything with everybody in a big company. Okay, it doesn't make sense in some aspects. You need teams to do these things. Like some of these are super huge. The budgets on these games are fucking ridiculous. So I understand all that, but still, to be able to see these indie titles and these developers get the chance to shine and use the same tech that the AAA studios are using, it's a beautiful thing. So looking forward to this game and what it brings. There's only 2 games left. I'll go with this second to the last one, and it's Gravity Circuit. It's coming out, it says second quarter 2023. So be looking out for that. It reminds me of a Mega Man inspired 2D game. Okay, it's definitely you're a Mega Man-esque type of game. You, instead of like blasters though, you have like these knuckles, and you kind of work with that. Oh no, it just looks really good. The gameplay looks really smooth and tight, and I'm anxious to see what this is about. I'm always down for another Mega Man-esque type of game, with some different flavor and stuff like that, So be looking out for that as well. Now, the last one on this list is a game that goes by Go Town. This this is a while away, okay? First quarter 2024. I almost didn't put this one on the list, but it looks so cool. It's a life sim with business management. Again, it's a town. It's based on a town. You're trying to build up and do your thing. And those games are just always fun, okay? I've never sat down with one of those type of games and just got bored. Usually I'll sit down with some of these games and then I'll lose like 4 hours just like the snap of a finger. At least that's what it feels like. I'll say that. It feels like that. So yeah, man, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for the show. I want to thank everybody for coming out, listening, downloading, streaming the podcast. I have a lot to do today. I have to go edit some more gameplay of Resident Evil 4 and play some more too, because I got to a really interesting place and it's about to get real out here in these RA4 streets. So without further ado, I'm going to get out of here and bow out gracefully. But guys, listen up. Definitely, if you want to show more love, just besides the podcast, you can also go check out some of my handles. You can check me out on Twitter. You can check me out on Instagram at Studio MacGyver. If you want to show love to my TikTok page, do that. Random Gameplay Pimpin' is out there on TikTok. Also, check out my Dragon Ball page on TikTok, Dragon Ball Drip. If you guys are into Dragon Ball like I am, definitely show love there. We're over 2,000 followers now, which is dope. Now I'm just trying to get to 10K. So that's the goal. So we're going to slowly make our move there. But yeah, everything's going cool there, man. I'm able to live stream. I'm going to set up some times and I'm going to let you guys know when the live stream is going to be. And it's just going to be like some discussion videos. Simply put, we'll have discussions about Dragon Ball stuff, of course. When we get more information on the game, we can talk about that. We could talk about favorite characters. We could talk about power levels. The list goes on and on. We could do all this shit. So yes, be looking out for that. Also, check out the new TikToks that I have out there. I have a TikTok for Just Your Average Fighter that just went up. And I also have another TikTok for Anime Campfire. It's called Anime Campfire. And it's going to be all anime. I'm going to have a majority of different ones on there. Right now, it's fresh. I think I only have 3 or 4 different videos up. But I have some My Hero Academia up there. I have some Boruto up there. Chivalry of a Failed Knight up there. And maybe 1 or 2 other things. But yeah, it's going to be different all the time. The beautiful thing about that is, I can pull from any anime and all anime. So it's going to be very, very diverse over there. So yeah, trying to get that to 1,000. Once that happens, I'll live stream there as well. So yeah, man, just trying to grow these brands. And I want to thank everybody who has shown support for those on TikTok and for those who will in the future. Now, with that being said, also, my bad, check out DragonBallDrip.com, I'm sorry, and get you some merch, okay? Get your hoodie, get your t-shirt or whatever. Let's get this, let's make this happen, okay? All right, now I'm out. Like I said before, I love you guys so much. Thank you. I got a lot to do, so I'm going to get out here and get started. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.